Good morning. Welcome to our Tool of the Week webinar for the Water Ring Home Set. Good to see you all here today. Um, and if you have any questions, please do drop any of your questions over here under the questions tab. Um, Otherwise, we will start by discussing the 2024 edition of the Water Rings. Now, the Water Rings have changed throughout the years. It originally started with Dancing with Water, the new science of water. We make the water rings for them. Now, they like to bring through more of the slim influence, the slim spurling, and they discuss on the trio on how slim spurling talks about how the trio of rings that they are creating are harmonic, that is working well with the earth and with the water. And so with this trio, years ago, they were the 144, the 177, and the 188 megahertz. And, the original Sperling rings, which we have not made that frequency of ring in years. We kept moving forward as we discovered new tools. It's amazing. These new energies usually came in trios. So the newest trio that we have, would love to discuss the energetics of the home set of rings, because this set is pretty amazing, the energetics. Now, we do have, of course, the regular water rings that we create for Dancing with Water as well. This is a little bit of a lighter gauge. This is a 12 gauge versus the 10. Now, Dancing with Water discusses how the water itself does not require the thick, heavy gauge fields that, like this gauge is too much for water. That truly water it thrives in more of those subtle energies, the paramagnetic energies, which the tensor rings create those fields that work very well with water. And so we do make the single water ring. Now, we used to actually make a trio in the small, which we have a few of these trios left. They are on clearance. So if you do look under our clearance page, you'll find the original water ring trio. Well, not original, but this was our last set, which was the Alchemist Energetics. But moving on, we have this wonderful set of rings. It's approximately 6.5, 7.5, and 8.5 inches. We will go through some of the energetics with these. Now, with the water rings, actually, I guess we could do some uses first here. So with the uses on the water rings, you simply place it over your water and let it set. Now, that is, that's the simplest form, is just to set it and forget it. You have your set of 3 rings. You place your water so that it is within that column, because these rings create a column of harmonizing energy. So these rings can be placed on top of your container or underneath of your container. Now, we suggest placing these rings with water that is sitting, because it takes about 4 to 6 hours for the tensor fields to restructure the water. And even with this particular set of 3 rings here, we still say to let it sit for at least 4 hours. The longer you let the water sit within the fields, the more it is harmonized. It does get to a point to where it is fully harmonized, restructured. And, that time can vary depending upon your water and also your interaction with the water. So we've talked a lot about in the past on how you can do meditations with your water. One of the watering videos that we did, I believe it was in December of 2022 or 2021, we actually had a video where we went through and we connected through the heart space with the consciousness of water. Now, when you connect with water and you place it within the ring, it can actually take down the amount of time that it takes to restructure the water. But again, that's kind of on the other end of the spectrum of how you utilize the rings. Truly, you can set it and forget it with your water. Now, of course, when you place these and you place your water within there, we really suggest to, really work with your water with gratitude, because when you have the gratitude with your water and you're working in conjunction with the tensor rings, and you are communicating with your water, asking it to carry all these certain frequencies and properties for you for your highest and greatest good. Um, it'll always be for your highest and greatest good when you're working with the tensor fields. So basically, when you place your water within the field, you can have an intention that you want the water to carry the most beneficial energetics for you. What I mean by that is, within all of the tools that we create here at Twisted Sage, but particularly the water rings, this is what I use for an example all the time, is that within the fields of the tensor rings, you can find the frequencies and properties of all the plant, crystal, and mineral kingdoms of this planet. So what that means is that you can take your water, and when you place it within the field, and it can be in plastic, metal, glass. I know plastic is not the best, but here's an example anyway. You place your water within that field, and you can have the intention that it is bringing through whatever those frequencies and properties that you need. Whether it is something from the plant kingdom like bergamot, or whether it is a certain specific frequency property of a crystal, whatever it is, you can ask the water to carry those for you. And you don't have to give a laundry list of the things that you want the rings to produce, like bergamot, rose quartz, things like that. You can simply set the water within the rings, and you just have the intention that it is carrying the best energetics for you. You let it sit for 4 to 6 hours, and that energetic is imprinted in your water. So it's like a Bach flower remedy, where you are taking those frequencies and properties of a specific plant, crystal, or mineral, infusing them into your water, and drinking your water. That is a phenomenal way to allow water to be in its higher potential, because water truly can be very healing, and it can carry the energetics that is most beneficial to you. You can even ask for specific supplements to come through the water. All of those frequencies and properties are available within the water rings. So your imagination's your limit on what you do with your water to infuse it with all the beneficial energies for you. So that's kind of the basic with the water ring. Now, as far as the specific energetics, now the energetics of this newest set of rings are pretty phenomenal. We have the smallest ring, which is the grounding ring. So I'll give you a discount code here today, which will also apply to singles. So you can get just the single ring. This one here, again, 6.5 inches, is the grounding ring. An amazing energy. Now, you can use this grounding ring on its own for all kinds of purposes. You can put it underneath of your car seat, underneath of your desk, your chair of your desk. Basically, again, they create a column of light. So as long as you are within this column of energy, it is working throughout the body. Grounding. I tell you what, we all need a bit of grounding. They even fit on the head. For some people, and I have an extremely large skull, but for some people, I've seen the smallest heads be able to fit through here. But for most, this particular grounding ring will sit on the head. Just to give you an idea, grounding the mind is a huge thing. So if you find that you get scattered, and you just don't know which way to go, the grounding energy is phenomenal, because it does bring you back to center, especially if you are conscious, aware of that energy. You sit with it, you take the 3 breaths to go into the heart space, because again, to really feel into the subtle energies of the tools is we go to the heart space to access the subtle energies. So there are all of the energies that we can see and feel as the human. So as the human, we can sense and perceive all the senses of the human. The other senses, your sight, your hearing, your understanding, your knowing, all of these clairs exist in this other plane that the human senses don't easily perceive. So what I'm saying is, to perceive these subtle energies, it's simple as going into the heart space. So you take the 3 breaths, you go into the heart space, you are then able to more easily access these subtle energies. So going into the heart space, and you can just sit with the grounding ring or any of the tools, and you can feel that energy interacting with you more. So the grounding ring, really phenomenal. All kinds of purposes. And we'll get into more with the water with this one in a moment. The middle size of the home set is the nothing space. So the nothing space, it's like the 0 point space of all your energy. So within the nothing space is all your energy, all your potentials of creation unmanifest. So what this does, the nothing space, it brings you back to that 0 point space. When you sit and truly feel into this energy, perhaps you'll notice that the mind goes blank. It brings you into that space to where you are basically at that 0 point space of your energy. What this means is that all the chaos that's going on in your world, when you stop, you come back into the heart, you feel into this energy, it opens up the potentials for what can occur. What I mean by that, well, for an example, we have a lot of people that work with the nothing space ring that are going through traumas such as a loved one passing, different things like this. And so they love the nothing space, my friends who work with it, because when they truly sit with it, when they are feeling really sad and they're just going down, that path to pull themselves back out, they'll sit with that nothing space. And it just helps to dissolve away all of those things that are going on within your field so that it's like a reset. When you step into that nothing space, everything just kind of fades away, goes blank. And then you can step back into a new flow because you've dissolved all of that that's going on around. You're in that beautiful space of nothing, of all potentials. And as you are there, and then you become more aware of what's around you and in your field, everything begins to shift and change because you have stopped from being really discombobulated and just, not really focused to being in a space of peace and allowing, and that just opens up the field more. So I know all that's a little bit esoteric. It's really something to experience because everybody has a different experience with it, but the nothing space has been a pretty amazing field, just to help you reset and recalibrate. So the third ring is the highest potentials. So the highest potentials ring is the one that is basically, it's a field of a lot of peace. This field of highest potentials, as we talked about the nothing space and how it is like the 0 point of your energy field. It is all potentials in reality creation. And that can be that you are having a really crappy day experience. And it also means that you are having a totally different experience. There's all of these experiences that are occurring that can occur in your creation at any moment. And so when we are in a kind of a crappy space, a pain body, a fear body, whatever, what comes through in our creation, in our reality, is not as high of a potential as if we were in the heart space. We're in that space of receiving and allowing. And then the potentials of what comes next is greater. That is an explanation of the highest potentials. is that it basically holds that space and holds you in more of a higher space of consciousness so that you can allow greater things to occur in the moment, because that is truly what these potentials are potentials of things occurring. And as we step into a higher consciousness, into the heart space, from there are higher potentials of what comes next. So anyway, that's kind of the woo-woo side of these 3 water rings. Now, you take those energetics and working with water, it is amazing because, one, you are connecting the water with the heart of the earth, with the grounding ring. So your water is grounded and it is connected with the earth. Then the nothing space, the space of all potentials, it is helping to clear out all of the old memories, the structures, everything with water. And it is allowing water to step into its higher potential of what it can do for you. Because then we add the highest potentials ring. So our water is grounded, it is cleared, and in a space of receiving and bringing through whatever's in your highest and best. And then the highest potential also infuses into it. And it just, like Dancing with Water says, and like what Slim tells them, is that it is creating a harmonic with the water that better connects it to the earth and to itself. So using the 3 rings together with your water is pretty amazing. And again, it's not limited to water. You can use these water rings for all purposes and intents. These will all restructure electromagnetics. They're all going to work with your food, your supplements. And that's the thing too, is the water rings in any of the tensor fields, working with your supplements, your medications, your food. People that take pharmaceuticals, you can put your whole bottle of pharmaceuticals within the tensor rings with an intent of it clearing anything that is not in your highest and best, all those wonderful side effects. And you can ask that it brings more support to you and your body. And you can change the energetics. So when you do this with any kind of supplements or medications, you put the whole bottle in there, you let it sit for a few hours, maybe 4 hours, maybe overnight. Then the entire bottle is cleared. So then you only have to do it once. And you can put multiples within the rings. You can do it with your food. You can place these around the burners of your stove when you're cooking. There is a lot of applications for these rings. Place them on the refrigerator so that way the energetics flows down into and through the fridge. If you have a short refrigerator, you can place it on top. You can place all your different crystals, supplements, everything else, essential oils within the rings. And then that will basically carry all that energy and information down through into your food. Because whatever you place within the rings, whether it's a crystal or another tool or an oil, the rings act as a carrier wave. So whatever is placed inside of here, that information comes through this field as it is going out. So if you choose, you can simply place this on top of or underneath of your water, and you can place all kinds of crystals or, essential oils or plants or whatever it is that you wish to infuse those energetics into water. You simply place those in the rings. And then as the rings are broadcasting that information into the water, it is as simple as that to infuse the water. But again, you can use something physical, or you can simply ask the water to carry those specific frequencies and properties for you. Because again, you can find all the crystal, plant, and mineral kingdoms within the fields of these rings. So anyway, just checking to see if we have any questions here from the live. And otherwise, please do look for our live. We're going to have a live next week, which will be on the light body activator ring, and the AI interface tab. So anyway, be on the lookout for the invitation coming to next week's. And let's see, the coupon code, which is good through the 11th of September for the water rings, is simply WR12 for Water Ring 12. So you get 12% off of any of the home set, whether it is the whole home set, all three, or as singles. The discount does not apply to the other water rings. So anyway, I hope that you please do experiment with these energies. And if you do have this particular set of water rings, we would love to hear some feedback from you on the energies and how you are accessing them. Let's see. And so let's see, I got a question here. Gosh. And actually, I can't see. Oh, can I put them all three on the head at once? Yes. So for me, I do have a larger size skull. Like I say, this largest one almost slips over my head. For a lot of people, this one will actually just drop down over the neck. But basically, yes, you can totally wear all three at once. And you can place these under the bed. You can place these at the head of the bed, so you're sleeping within that column. Really, the imagination is the limit on how to utilize these particular three rings. And you never get any kind of a detox with these tools in these fields. Can you place them at your feet? Most definitely. And the grounding ring, again, if you were going to get just one of these rings, the grounding ring is pretty phenomenal. They all work together very well, this trio. But basically the grounding ring, yes, you can totally put that at your feet, under your chair, underneath the seat of your car. So it's a very versatile ring. All right. And let's see, I was trying to think if there was anything else to really dive into. There are a lot of meditations that you can do with these rings. And you know what? Let's just go through for anybody who would like to feel into the energies of these more. We'll go through a meditation to connect with the energy of each of these rings. So, all right, here we go. The grounding ring simply contains the energy of the crystal sun within the earth. Within the earth, we all hear of Gaia, the consciousness of earth. So what we see in reality is that Gaia is the protector of that crystal sun within the earth. It is a giant crystal. It is what holds the energy, which basically helps to create this entire physical reality we live in. And we are becoming, as the human is becoming more of the caretaker, energetically, spiritually, consciously, of this planet, as the old guardians are leaving, like Gaia, the guardian of the earth. As as Gaia is stepping aside. There are many beings who are with this crystal sun of the earth. So if this is something that resonates, then this one will definitely be a meditation for you. So we will walk into the heart space and we will connect with that energy of the earth, that crystal sun of the earth. And as we connect heart to heart with the earth, as our heart is this electromagnetic generator, this is what brings the grounding. And so we'll go through some grounding, some connecting with the earth. All right, so closing your eyes, putting your attention to the physical heart where you find your light. Now imagine that you connect heart to heart with the earth and you breathe in that energy, that light, that support of the earth up through the feet and into the heart. Next, in this Trinity breath, we connect with you as Creator God, as soul, breathing in that light of you into the heart. The third breath in this Trinity breath is we breathe in the energy of earth, the energy of creation, and we bring them both together. And we send that light right back out. So we are a column of light that is grounded, connected, and in the heart space. Now imagine with your eyes closed that you drop down into the center of the earth, down into that space of that crystal sun, and just allowing that energy and that light to envelop you, every cell of the body, in between every cell. And just feel that beautiful hug of the earth, the energetic hug, as it just brings a calmness, a calming sensation to the body, to the mind. Now imagine, if you will, connecting your mind, not only the brain, but all of your thoughts, emotions, feelings, connecting all of that with the earth. If you need a visualization, perhaps visualize an infinity, a figure eight, that just flows and connects the mind in the heart of the earth, allowing yourself to fully be present and drop down with the earth, just allowing it to bring that peace, that grounding, the clarity. And we've seen some pretty phenomenal, miraculous things occur with people as they ground with the earth. The earth is very much in support and will help to release energies that no longer serve you, things that are stuck in your field. She is a powerful transformer of energies, and she just asks that you let go of those things that she can help to release, to clear. Beautiful. All right, so yeah, at your leisure and another time, you can go in and work with that crystal sun within the earth or the other beings that are there. And these other beings are human, just as you are human, as you are there now. So let's come back here to this present space. Start opening your eyes and being here. All right. So next, we are going to step into the nothing space. So with this, again, it is the Trinity breath, that breathing in the energy of earth into the heart, the energy of you as creator God, as soul, breathing in that light into the heart. In that third breath, in the Trinity breath, you breathe in from the earth, the energy of creation, bringing them both together within you. And then you are that column of light, grounded and connected. Now imagine that you are right there in the middle of the brain, your consciousness. You're in the head with your consciousness. And we're going to slowly move it up above the head. And we're going to keep going into these higher spaces. And we're going to go to this nothing space, the space of your energy, unmanifest. All potentials are there. but you don't see and recognize and feel, and you don't see all these potentials. It is a space where you allow yourself to just be without thought, without projection. It's just a space of emptiness, but yet is a space of all potentials. So this is a good space to come to when you need a reset, a recalibration. It takes your attention and awareness off of limiting potentials that were in your field of creation. And as you are in that heart space, it begins to illuminate higher potentials. So from here, let's take the next step with the next ring, this next energy of the highest potentials. So again, moving back to the physical heart, seeing yourself grounded, connected. And next, we're going to step into the field of higher potentials. And truly, we simply be still, and that field comes to us. So just be still in the heart, grounded, connected, present. And allow, be soft, be in a space of inviting in, of allowing your highest potentials to come through. Your highest potentials is truly the energy of the soul. The soul carries all potentials of creation. So just feeling that energy as it comes in, allowing it to come in, not directing it, not putting your wish list there. We're simply in a space of soft allowing. Beautiful. So if you bring all three of these fields together, these exercises, you're grounded, connected, you're in that space of everything, yet nothing, of the nothing space. And you've allowed in your light, your highest potentials. When you bring all three of those spaces together with just a simple intention, it begins to pattern everything differently, your reality, your experiences. And as you simply step out of this space and bring it into your world, it begins to rearrange your world. And I hope you can see and feel that, because I have goosebumps everywhere, because I see and feel this for all of you that are doing this now. Intangibly, for the mind, it really is hard to wrap your head around these things, and two, because the mind isn't the best perceiver of truly what's going on, because as your reality changes, the old things disappear. It's kind of like any of the healing and the clearing that you do, that the things are very much in your awareness. And after you've done the release work, the healing of those things, It's never in your awareness again. And that is the same concept here, that you have all those old patterns and structures of your reality, of your creation, of your experience. And when you step into this space, you allow your light, your higher consciousness, to help to repattern everything. So when you step back into here, into this plane, expect everything to be different. Those things that come back and you're like, oh man, I thought I released that, then it is still there serving you in some way. And you can go back through and release again of those things that come up that no longer serve you or do not bring you joy. So that is our woo-woo side of things here. And it truly is, to me, a roadmap of stepping into being more of a conscious creator, of allowing the higher potential experiences to come through in every moment. Who would have thought a set of water rings, the energies could assist with that? But anyway, the water rings obviously were much more than just water. Enjoy the space, you guys. Thank you for being here, and we'll see you next time. All right, take care.